Okay, what is up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome back to another stream. Like always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, finding it useful. It does really help out the channel, and I'm grateful for it. If you haven't checked out the Telegram already, make sure you go do that. Link in the description to it. Share my updates of trades, watch list. Completely forgot why I posted my Telegram for a second. Trades, watch lists, videos I create. So feel free to go and check it out. I do have a group chat there as well to check out if you want to. And if you're looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets. Feel free to go check them out if you are looking for a broker and want to use my affiliate link. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another stream. Umar, first view, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good morning. Anus, good morning. Hope you're doing good as well. Harris, what is up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Dissy, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. NCJPY, okay. Agency, we'll take a look. Eurocad, sure, no thing. Anus, what is up? Miko, if you look at ES now and also the psychological pitfalls chart, do you think that we're on an overconfident cycle and we can head lower from a long-term vision? What is the ES? What is ES? I have no idea what that is. But yeah, if you let me know what ES is, because I've never heard of that before. ES now and also psychological pitfalls chart. I mean, yeah, explain to me what ES is, Anus, because I have no idea. Rowan, what's up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I am doing good. Hope you are as well. Can we please take a look at gold? Yep, we'll take a look at gold. I am looking to buy at 1940. I'm looking to buy as well if gold can retrace, if gold's kind enough to retrace. But it was very, very bullish yesterday and cleared the level by a lot. But yeah, if we do retrace, which might not be till next week, we could be seeing price continue without us potentially. But yeah, we'll take a look at gold. Let me just go through what's it, NZJPY, ADNSD, and also EuroCAD. Okay, so we'll start with ADNSD. So ADNSD yesterday, we were looking at some shorts. We're looking at shorts coming into the week as well. Again, we have pretty clear bearish structure. There we go. We have pretty clear bearish structure of the break and retest of this prior low and the fact that the market is successive, the lower lows and lower highs, as we can evidently see here. So the way I'm interpreting this market is I'm looking for a lower high for the market to return back to these prior lows down here. The fact that the market did come into this area here, I think it was the day before during some news during the Asian session. Then we got another retest of it, then the sell-off. So yesterday we were talking about potentially a double top. Market came back in late New York session, just after NFP, not NFP, CPI. Then we did see the market kind of roll over slightly. So we are running low momentum here for ADNSD. The market is still definitely bearish. But again, like I said, if you're going to short up here, I wouldn't be trying to push the trade too far because the fact that we have failed at the lows here is not the best sign. We create support, pushed up, aggressive sell-off back into the same support level, respected it, and the market then turned around. So not the best sign for the bears, the fact that the market is finding support there and respecting it quite strongly. But of course, we still do have untested levels of support and resistance, which again, this will be a great place to short and anticipate some downsides. So yeah, I'm anticipating the markets come back and we test these lows. Whether we break through them or not too sure. We might do. I mean, I am looking at this bigger range on the daily chart, which if successful, we could see the market come back down to these lows, near enough 1.06. So there is room to the downside in the higher time frames, but 4H is showing some signs of exhaustion. So from a trading standpoint, you probably do best to take your profit down at these lows. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting price to head towards. And then we see how price interacts with the level, whether we get a breakout or the market starts bouncing again. But I'm at least bearish to 1.07. If we crack through the support, then we might be seeing 1.06 and some more shorts on the break and retest. But yeah, if you didn't get into the trade earlier on up there, I'm not too sure. There's a good, I mean, possibly in a break and retest some of these lower time frame levels, but I just don't like trading within this kind of corrective structure. I want to be, far away, take my shorts nice high up, put my stop loss above and take advantage of the swing rather than trying and get in and break me test on some of these smaller levels. But could be successful, but for me it looks like the train has left the station a little bit with this one. As the JPY, we'll take a look. So as the JPY, I was looking at some buys yesterday, but yeah, CPI just pushed price to the upside very, very aggressively, and didn't give me an opportunity to get in. I mean, not that price got to my area anyway, to be fair, so there was just no trade opportunity for me, period. But I was looking for the market to come a little bit deeper yesterday into roughly 86 area here. Had some decent confidence there, looking for the next higher low. Again, we've been seeing successive higher lows for NZJPY for a while with some really strong up moves. So again, we had some good confidence there for some buys, but CPI kicked in, and obviously the market is looking very, very bullish since then. So with NZJPY, if the market is going to form a lower high, it could be around this point here. Again, the lower high is still a little bit aggressive in my opinion, because again, higher time frames are still quite bullish. So if you're looking for a lower high and looking for some shorts, then you're looking for counter trend plays. I can understand that we've had a very aggressive move down. Market's obviously broken structure on the left here. So shorts looking for a lower high, trying to look for the impulse, correction impulse. It's not a bad idea. It's just like I always say, I try to catch the third lower high. So if the market breaks structure, let's make that white so we can all see it. If the market breaks structure, then I want price to give me a lower high, and then I'll look to get in on the next one. So these are the highs that I tend to trade. These ones do work well as well, but just not as well as these guys. These have a slightly high probability of playing out. These sometimes could be a bit false and turn to be just a fake break of structure for the market to continue going higher. And that could be one of those cases, since the higher time frames are pretty bullish. So with NZJPY, there could be some lower highs. When we cracked above this support level, that would have been a nice place to short from. Now we're trading above it is also not a good sign as well. So yeah, NZJPY, we could be looking at a long-term push back to the highs over there on the left. But yeah, I'm not really seeing any good buying opportunities at the moment. The buys I was looking for was down at 86. Now that we're pushing all the way here, near enough at 88. I'm not too sure if I'll get into any trades now for NZJPY. I'll keep an eye on it, because there's a long way to go. So there might be some nice pullbacks. But at the moment, yeah, another one looks like the train has left the station as well. EuroCAD will take a look as well. Okay, so ES is S&P. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I'll go take a look at S&P 500. But yeah, indices, especially the US indices, have been very, very bullish. So there's going to be a lot of people getting involved in the train now. But yeah, we'll go take a look at S&P. Morning, Liam. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. We'll take a look at gold as well. Band of Fortune, what is up? Yeah, we'll take a look at gold, no problem. Mike, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Forex trader, what's up? Can you make a psychological videos? So yeah, I've done a couple of them. If you go through my Forex education playlist, there's a couple of videos on psychology and emotions. Probably did one maybe about 2 months back on about emotions. Feel free to go and check that out. I think it's like how to control your emotions. But yeah, go into a bit of detail in that one, so go check that out. But yeah, I have done a couple. I'll probably do some more in the future as well. Nike, can you look at AJY? Of course, we'll take a look. Brian, good morning, welcome to the stream. Gru, what is up? Welcome to the stream. USD as always, we'll take a look. Joseph, welcome to the stream. Good morning. I'm doing well, hope you are as well. Pound Chef Zark, we'll take a look. Okay, so let me go through EuroCAD. Let me go for EuroCAD, S&P 500, and gold as well. Okay, so we'll start with EuroCAD. So EuroCAD looking very, very bullish, kind of following Euro USD. Aggressive move to the upside, clearing some highs and seeing some strong momentum now. So yeah, EuroCAD was interesting. I was expecting price to eventually get back to this support here. It never happened. We came very close. I mean, a few pips away. Again, the market's not perfect sometimes, but the market has had a pretty aggressive bullish move since then. Dropping onto the low time frames, again, we've kind of broken out this consolidation with a lot of momentum. So in my book, it looks like we've had this huge impulse, likely to see a correction, a deeper correction at one point, but I'm expecting more upside based on the characteristics of the market. At the moment, we could be looking at push maybe back to 1.475, which is kind of the top of this corrective structure here, because you can see we had a lot of impulse to the downside, Then from this area is when the market start getting very, very corrective. So we could be seeing the market tap back into this resistance here pretty soon. It might retrace before that and then get the stab to the upside, or it might just keep going. But in my book, everything's looking pretty bullish for EuroCAD. I'm not too sure long term. Long term is a little bit tricky. We could still be in a bigger reversal right now, but I'll just keep focused on this bullish momentum. No need to overcomplicate it. So yeah, 1.475 looks like a good level to target. In terms of looking for entries and good areas to buy from, this level looks good. We've broken through that quick kind of retest there with the CPI. Could see the market pull back to the downside, retest that level, and then possibly get the next continuation. Market's still printing these higher lows. Could be seeing another one around 1.462. Looking for a continuation to the upside. And again, target-wise, that level looks good. And also the highs there too, depending how far you want to push the trade. But to me, yeah, EuroCAD looks like a good, maybe intra-week buy opportunity here. Not trying to stretch the trade too far, but there's definitely a lot of bullish momentum present. There's some good levels to buy from as well. So yeah, looking to take advantage of that current market momentum is definitely something that does look good. So yeah, EuroCAD buys back to 1.475. Not a bad shout at all. Okay, so we'll go take a look at S&P and gold. So US 500, let's take a look. So Anish, you were saying, what's the psychological pitfalls chart? Do you think that we are on overconfidence cycle and we can head lower from a long-term vision? Okay, let's take a look. Yes, you're definitely right. I mean, there will be a lot of confidence in the market. There will be a lot of confidence in the market right now. I'm not too sure. I mean, we're expecting to see, well, since kind of like 2021, we've been expecting to see like a major recession and big collapses on major indices. And we kind of haven't seen that. We have seen some downside. There was a brief downtrend here across 2022 into 2023. It wasn't anything crazy though. It just looks like a normal pullback, nothing like something like this of COVID. Now the market is clearing some major highs and gaining a lot of momentum. A lot of people will be, reinvesting again into the S&P. The typical average, retail investor, we looking to buy when the market is bullish and get out their positions when the market is bearish. So when the market's collapsing, they're exiting their positions. When the market is going up and everything is great, people are adding more and more and more. And now is a good time to do it. But typically, when you get a lot of overconfidence, it's normally when the market's creating new all-time highs. So when the market is doing this and there's a lot of overconfidence, normally people are buying up here, and then that's when you normally get the bigger moves to the downside. Now, from a technical aspect, things do look good for the S&P. The fact that the market's had kind of a gradual reversal, it's not kind of one big up move. Market's printing higher lows as well, which is a sign of sustainable structure. And we've got some levels that the market could come back to and hold, possibly go further as well. So I would definitely agree that there's going to be some overconfidence and maybe there's going to be some bigger pullbacks, but I'm not too sure, if we're going to necessarily do that. It's a possibility, yes, but it's definitely a bit more of an aggressive call. Because if you look back through, this doesn't go too far, but if you look back through most major collapses, let me see if I can find a chart to go to 2008. Wait, that is the wrong one. That's on stocks. If I can find the chart that goes back to 2008, because that's like a good model to look back for a big crash. Okay, this goes back to 2008. It doesn't really show us much before that, but normally when we do see big crashes, it's normally the market's creating new all-time highs before we do get the big crash. But it definitely is a possibility, certainly with the uncertainty in the global market as well. So it's a possibility, but it's definitely a big call, I would say. Nothing that I would look to trade myself. But yeah, what's your opinion on it, Anis? Are you looking for positions, or is it something that interests you that you possibly could be seeing a big move back down from now? But you definitely are right. The average investor will be looking to buy right about now, which tends to be trapped. Okay, so we'll take a look at gold next. Couple of people requested that one. We'll take a look at gold, AJPY, USDPLN, pound Swiss. We'll take a look as well. Liam, my NAS buy trade is going well, and I'm not in. Okay, may look long Euro JPY. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, NAS and S&P are looking very strong. Obviously, this is the S&P right now, and I think we cracked through the highs. Yeah, we did. So, yeah, what's it called? CPI was a blessing for you with the indices. So yeah, looking very, very good. Healthy uptrend still intact. So, buy my book. Everything is still looking bullish to go. Again, targets, I'm not too sure, where we could possibly head to. There's some structures here on the left, but nothing too obvious. So it's kind of just, wait to see what happens. But yeah, looking very, very strong on both S&P. I think US 30 was looking pretty strong. Yeah, looking like it's breaking through the highs there. US 100 looking very strong as well, breaking out some key resistance. So yeah, everything is looking good for US indices right now. Pound yen, euro yen, we'll take a look as well. K trading, no problem. Rock Invest Pro, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Dollar yen, I kept until 139.500. Incredible trade. Oh yeah, yeah, dollar yen plummeted some more. I wasn't even expecting dollar yen to keep going, because it's already dropped like 500 pips yesterday. I mean, since like the start of the crash till yesterday, then it dropped some more. So very, very interesting stuff from dollar yen. But congrats on the position though. Very, very good trade. Anyway, let me start going through some of these pairs before I forget. Okay, so next I'll take a look at gold, and then I'll take a look at AJPY, USDPLN, and pound Swissy. Okay, so gold. Yeah, so gold we're looking at quite a lot. This is probably the most talked about pair on the streams this week, to be fair. A lot of requests from gold from Tuesday, Wednesday, and obviously today as well. And to be fair, gold is on my watch list now with this breakout on my watch list as well. So I'm definitely interested with gold too. But yeah, we were talking about gold quite a bit and discussing this area here, 1940, saying it's a nice level of resistance, potentially could send price down again. But I didn't like the characteristics and how price was interacting with the level. The fact that we had some nice wicks into the level, and now we're seeing candle closures. Not a good sign. Not a good sign. You don't want to see the market start gaining territory. You don't want to start losing territory, or just keep giving us wicks. But the market had some closures into the level, which was not a good sign. And then eventually we got the break to the upside off the back of CPI, which is what I was looking for. I said hopefully maybe CPI can break us through. I wasn't expecting us to go so far to the upside. Trading all the way up there. So it's a bit of an ask to hope that we can retrace all the way back here for some longs. Definitely possible, but I'm not too sure, because when things get going for gold, they tend to really get going, and pullbacks like that sometimes are hard to come by. So I will be looking at 1940, because the market is still printing these higher lows, looking for the retest of that structure there, see if we can get the next higher low. We've got a bunch of targets to aim for. We've got the resistance here, which the market is kind of coming into already. We've got the resistance up here as well. We've also got the prior all-time highs or major highs up here to long-term targets around 2050, 2060. So in my book, there's a long way to go for gold. From a daily standpoint, we're looking at this huge impulse to the upside, correction, big impulse, correction, big impulse, correction. And now we're looking for another possible push to the upside, another impulse back to the highs, and maybe even higher as well. So for me, gold is looking healthy. Gold's looking healthy for the buys, and just looking for corrections now to get into some buys. 1940 is the most obvious level I can spot, which looks good for some long opportunities. But like I said, it's a bit of an ask to hope for gold to retrace that much. If it does, I'll definitely be there to take part. If it doesn't, I'll try and see if I can hop into gold at a later date. Maybe push forward, break and retest, get some more complex pullbacks, and then we can find some longs later down the road. But in terms of buys for gold, it's definitely bullish. Looking at more upside for the pair. Long-term targets, like I said, back at 2060, 2050. So now that we cleared this structure out the way, people were talking about this inverse head and shoulder. That's really got going now with the break of the neckline. So yeah, we're basically looking at pullbacks and continuations. So if anyone can see some decent pullbacks on gold, buys are the best bet. USD PLN, we'll go and take a look as well. Is anyone trading gold as well, or looking to trade gold at least? USD PLN, pound CHF, we'll go through some yen pairs as well. Daniel, what is up? What is correlation between different pairs? Correlation just describes how one asset moves in a similar fashion or opposite fashion to another asset. So pound USD, Euro USD are very correlated in terms of obviously they're both partnered with dollar, which makes them the same. And also pound and euro are fairly similar currencies with fairly similar fundamentals and economics behind it. Obviously there will be differences, but they're not too separated. So Euro USD and pound USD will move similar because they're affected by similar things. So their correlation is quite the same. And then you've got DXY, which is the dollar basket. And you've got gold, which will move opposite because obviously gold is traded against the dollar. So if dollar's gaining strength, then gold's going to take a hit because it needs to maintain that strength. And if it doesn't, then it will lose value against the dollar. So correlation just basically describes how one market moves in terms of another one. And some popular correlations: pound USD, Euro USD, pound yen, Euro yen, gold and dollar inverse correlation. There's a bunch of other correlations as well. I mean, I look at correlations a little bit, but I don't focus on it too much. I'm more just looking at the price action and seeing if I can get a good opportunity on the pair I'm trading. If I get a good opportunity with good entry, I'm taking the trade. Euro UD, okay, might be forming inverted head and shoulder. Yeah, I've been talking about Euro UD. It didn't crack the resistance I was talking about, so I need it still to crack that resistance for me to look for buys. But yeah, if it doesn't, then I will not be looking for the buys. But let me go take a look at USD PLN pound Swiss. Okay, so USD PLN definitely not on the list, so you have to type that one out. USD PLN. US dollar against the Polish, was that zloty? I should know that because I'm 25% Polish. But yeah, this one is absolutely falling out the sky. Oh, okay, that was my prior analysis on USD PLN. When was this? This was back in May 2022. That's crazy. Or it might be here, July 22. So yeah, I haven't looked at this pair in over a year. Okay, but right now the market is still considerably bearish, seeing successive lower lows and lower highs. Let me zoom out and see the bigger picture. We are coming onto a pretty key area here, which is a big level of resistance. Big resistance there, now turns support. Could see some friction around here for USD PLN. I wouldn't get too optimistic. I mean, it's not a bad place. The market's still creating all these successive higher lows. This is definitely not a bad place for the market to place another one. The only thing is that the market has taken out this high here. It's taking out a major high, so that could invite deeper retracement. But nonetheless, we can see what the type of price action we get here possibly could start a reversal to the upside. Anyway, so if I was looking at USD PLN, I wouldn't be looking for sells anymore because we're coming to some big levels of resistance. I'll be seeing if we can start looking for some reversals here. So break of structures, some higher highs and higher lows, and getting in on those higher lows there. There might still be some sells at play, but I just wouldn't push it too far. So if the market does retrace, retest some structure there around 4.06, this is still not a bad place to short, but again, I wouldn't be trying to push the trade too far because of where we're coming into. It's a big old level of support in the higher time frames, and again, we know the higher time frame is overly bullish as well, so we need to show some respect to that trend. But yeah, the market right now is still currently bearish, so some sells do look good, but I wouldn't push it too far. And if you start showing some nice characteristics of a reversal, it could be a big trade to the upside to be had as well. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, definitely the market is still bearish at the moment. So you're looking at pullbacks and continuations. So yeah, that's my outlook on USD PLN. We'll go take a look at pound Swiss next. So pound Swiss, last time I saw that one was falling to the downside quite aggressively. Yeah, so it did break some structure quite heavily. So yeah, the structure's not looking too bad now, particularly because we broke to the downside with a lot of momentum. That is showing good characteristics for the market structure. We've been very, very corrective. You can see push to the upside was very corrective, came down very corrective, pushed up corrective as well. Then we're moving down a little bit corrective. So I wasn't really a big fan of the market structure. And the fact that we're trading inside of a big range as well is also just not a good sign either. Now that we have broken to the downside with some good momentum, we still possibly could be seeing a push back to the low of the range around 1.11. And now that we've cracked through support very aggressively, pullbacks and shorts are not the worst thing in the world, to be fair. A retest of, what is this, 1.133 or even slightly deeper, a retest of 1.136 also looks good as well. So in my book, pound Swiss looks good for sales. Thank you so much. Can't see the name because of the missed it there. I'm just gonna say Nat. Thank you so much, Nat, for subscribing. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and drop a like. It really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Finding the content useful, finding it informative, drop a like, helps the channel out, and subscribe as well if you want to see more of the content. And thank you so much to everyone who has liked the video so far and subscribed too. But yeah, pound Swiss to me looks like a decent short opportunity here on the retest structure. Market's now printing some low highs as well. It is still within consolidation, but the fact that we're picking up some momentum has definitely increased the probability and the quality of the setup altogether. So yeah, you're looking at some pullbacks, continuations, and you've got 1.1 as a solid daily support to go and target. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for pound Swiss. Okay, so we'll go take a look at we'll go take a look at some yen pairs, euro yen, pound yen, a few requests for that, and we'll take a look at USD, UAD as well. Hex, I looked at NZJPY already in the stream. It's probably like the second pair I looked at. So if you scroll back to the start of the stream, you'll see the analysis to that one. What is up, Henrico? Welcome to the stream. Rowan, what is up? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Game scenario. Hey, Miko, what do you prefer, moving stop loss to break even instead of trailing it? Why do I prefer moving my stop loss? Because with my trades, I want to give as much room as possible for my trade to play out. With a trading stop loss, there's always that kind of buffer you're leaving room for the market to pull back in, and it's quite difficult because you could be in a trade, let's say, and say your target's up there and you don't have a target necessarily, so the market's moving in your favor, you're trading a stop loss above the lows, then suddenly we see a more of exaggerated move, market maybe consolidates, then pushing in your favor, takes you out of the trade, and then it hits your target. So I'm not a big fan of that because the market's quite unpredictable, and I'd much rather just give the trade as much room as possible. And if I have my stop loss at break even, it means it has all of this room to play around with for it to go and hit my target. So especially during news as well, I hold my trades during news, like pound USD yesterday. I held that through news. I mean, that was well into profit, but if it wasn't, there will be some case scenario where I can just get wicked out from news and then the market moves in my favor. So I like to give the trade as much room as possible. So that's why I don't really trail my stops. I only keep it to break even. Again, it's to do with preference because obviously trading stops does have its positives. If you don't have a target necessarily, you just trail stops. Sometimes you will catch those trades that just keep going and keep going and keep going. You keep trading your stop loss and you can get very, very big winners, 5, 10%, maybe even more as well on a single position. So trading stops does have its pros, the possibility of catching big wins. But the way I trade, I'm going to see a lot of fluctuation, and yeah, I like to give my trades room, and I like having set targets in mind as well. So I give the trade as much room it needs to breathe, to pull back and whatever. And if it hits my target, it's my target. If it hits break even, it hits break even. But yeah. That's the reason why. But obviously there's traders who prefer trading stop loss, and they have their reasons why. There's no wrong or right decision with trading. That's kind of one of the things I've learned. There is no wrong or right with trading. There's just pros and cons, and if the pros outweigh the cons, then it's a green light. Anyway, we'll go through some yen pairs because people requested that, and UAD and USD as well. ANIS is just something that interests me, bro. Maybe for some investment from here and there if we will have the cash flow by then. Okay, yeah, fair enough. It does make sense. I mean, again, I'm very much of a reactor type trader, not really anticipator. So, if I see the market start showing some signs of a lower high developing, then you could be right. We could be seeing the next big wave happen, because normally we get the big crashes after big euphoric moves, and we're definitely seeing, characteristics of a big euphoric move right now on S&P. Maybe not so much for the other indices, but S&P definitely. So the possibility is there, but at the moment everything's looking very, very bullish. So quite aggressive to be calling some shorts. But again, things can change very, very quickly. Andreas, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Okay, Palans, the USD will take a look as well. Vikram, you're looking at some sells on gold. Okay. I'm not bearish on gold at all. I'm still quite bullish on gold. Looking for more upsides, possibly back to all-time highs potentially. I can see why you're looking for sells. Obviously, price coming back into resistance here on the left. 1963 sell position is safe. Where is that 1963? 1963, so that's basically coming back into the resistance there. So yeah, it does make sense looking for sells up there. You've got a big old 4H level above you there, so there could be some selling pressure off the back of that. But like I said, I'm very much of a trend follower, momentum follower type trader. So if momentum is in one direction, I'm trading in that particular direction. And for gold, for me, momentum has shifted from bearish to bullish, so now I'm only looking at buy positions and looking at the market going further. So I'm hoping the market can retrace from this level. So I hope if you're currently in this trade, I do hope the market does push down, not only for your sake, for my sake as well, because I'm looking at buys slightly lower. It is coming to resistance, but that's about it. It's kind of up to the market. If the market wants to retrace, this is a good place to retrace and you can profit from it. But again, the market doesn't necessarily have to retrace. It can still break through and go higher first before we retrace or do something crazy. Again, they're looking for the trades up here. The sells kind of going against momentum and going against the flow are never really my type of trades to take. So yeah, it's not a bad place to do it. It's not a bad level of resistance, but there's just not a lot of confidence going for it. Down here I've got a lot more confidence, which is why I'm looking for my trades down here. So I can see why you're looking for shorts or shorted it. Just I'm seeing a lot more confidence and a lot more probability for the buy, so that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, let's go through some yen pairs. So you start with euro yen, then we'll take a look at pound yen after as well. Okay, so where is euro yen? There you are. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to see some upside for the yen pairs, especially NZD JPY and AJPY. They're looking very, very bullish. I'm meant to take a look at AJPY, so I'll take a look after. But yeah, JPY pairs are starting to gain strength back again. How's dollar yen looking? Dollar yen not showing any signs of strength, obviously, because dollar is very, very weak at the moment. But not really showing much signs of strength there. But euro yen, pound yen creeping in, showing a little bit of strength here. And again, that's why I said always be careful with these yen pairs. Although they're starting to look bearish again, higher time frames are still extremely, extremely bullish. So I wouldn't be too overly confident with the sells and with TPs as well. But yeah, for euro yen, I think sells still look okay with this one. We do have some really nice structure up here, which the market broke through, hasn't retested. If I drop to the hourly, you can see we've been successive with these lower highs. 1, 2, 3. I had some equal highs up there originally. That's an awful line. Let me just use the line tool. There we go. Had some equal highs up there. Since then, we broke structure. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And this is still a nice area to short from 155,500. But again, like I said, I wouldn't push the trade too far. If you can, probably take your profit sooner rather than later. So I scale to the higher time frames. This is the weekly time frame. You can see the overall trajectory is still very much to the upside. Momentum is still very much with the buyers. And we haven't even come into a particularly important level as well. The market's kind of trading not really in an area of importance. We do have a big one over here on the left, 163.988, which maybe could be a long-term target for Euro yen. So yeah, I'm not necessarily backing reversals right now, but we do have some nice bearish structure, which is taking out some key lows on the left. So the sales do look okay, but again, I'll be very, very quick to take my profit, coming back to some major levels of support before potentially the market looks to reverse. So I would be careful of that. But yeah, Euro yen, that's kind of what I'm looking at for this one. Pound yen, something similar I would expect. Yeah, pound yen as well. I mean, pound yen has just swept the lows of these prior swing lows here. So we are seeing kind of price grab liquidity from the downside, which could potentially fund an even bigger move up higher. But we are coming to some resistance now, so it'll be interesting to see how pound yen reacts with this area. If we can see some good rejection here, some good quality wicks, shift of momentum, this could be a really nice place to short from. And again, anticipating a push back into the prior low, and then yeah, being done for the day. Because again, pound yen still very bullish on the higher time frames. Won't take a lot for us to get moving back to the upside as well. So pound yen, euro yen, short still look good. Pound yen right now coming to a nice place to short at the moment. Obviously, if you're looking at current price action, things are still very bullish, and as we speak, price is still trying to push through the level. So, entries on the hourly 30-minute do look good, but you need to see some good rejection around here. At the moment, we're not seeing that at all. Thank you so much, Eze, for subscribing. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, at the moment, we're not really seeing much signs of rejection. So keep an eye out for rejection. You're looking for wicks, momentum. At the moment, we're seeing the buyers take control. And if we do break through this, then we might be looking to follow that higher time frame narrative and keep going bullish. If that's the case, I'll wait for price to break structure on the left here and then see a higher low, maybe even print an inverse head and shoulder. And then we could be looking at a push back to the highs at 84-ish. So, yeah, pound yen, very, very bullish right now. Is it the yen pairs or is pound gaining some strength from somewhere? Let's have a look. Pound CHF. Okay, pound CHF is pushing up quite heavily. Pound NZD as well. Euro pound is falling out the sky. So yeah, pound is quite strong. Pound USD still pushing. I got my trade around 1.2928 something. And yeah, price is still pushing. So yeah, I mean, in this case scenario with my trade, which I entered down here, people be saying, or no, entered here, sorry. People be saying, trading stop loss could have worked very well, take advantage of the bigger move. But again, not every position is going to be like that. Sometimes I get into a trade, like my dollar Swiss from 3 weeks ago. That one consolidated for like 3 weeks and moved sideways. If I use a trading stop loss, I would definitely be taking out that position. But having my stop loss to break even allowed me to take advantage of that position. But again, trading stops, break even, both have pros and cons. It's up to you to decide which one's best for you and also which one, you can, stay consistent with as well. That's an important thing too. But yeah, pound definitely very, very strong right now. So pound yen, if you're looking for some trades, some sales look good, but yeah, definitely wait for some development here. If we start breaking through, then we might just have a reversal. So keep an eye out for that. We'll look at Euro NZD, Pound NZD next. Euro AUD as well, those kind of cross pairs. Dollar Yen, we'll take a look too. Tiago, what is up? From Europe. Well, I'm in Europe as well, so what is up? Kendrick, what's better for a small account, bro? $200 swing, day trade or scalp? Inclined a little towards swing. Your views? Yeah, with a small account, swing trading is gonna be a little bit difficult because you're gonna have bigger stop losses, and you're gonna have obviously bigger TPs in terms of pips. You're gonna have bigger stop losses and bigger TPs. So I would say it's probably better to focus more on the lower time frames, because again, sometimes if you're gonna have a big stop loss, say like 50 pips, sometimes even using a micro lot 0.01 might not even give you the correct position size to risk the appropriate amount you want to risk, whether it's 1, 2, or 3%, depending on the market you're trading. So I would think maybe swing is not the best option. Maybe just day trade. Scalp is an option as well. Not the biggest fan of scalping, but it definitely is an option. So I would probably say day trading, it makes the most sense. In terms of the style, if you want to swing trade, I would say open up a demo account and practice your swing trading there, because then you've got a bit more room to play with. You can use appropriate risk management. You can really, swing trade, properly. But obviously a live account is important as well to experience those emotions, losing money, making money, and staying consistent as well. So I would say day trading makes the most sense. Or you can swing trade as well, but you're going to have to probably increase your position, your percentage risk per trade, maybe 3% or 4%. But if you want to use appropriate risk management, I think day trading would be the sufficient option. Kate Trading wondering, what do you see about the DXY and GPY index on the higher time frames? Yeah, we'll go take a look at them actually. We'll go take a look as well. No problem, Vikram. Happy to help. Anus looking to enter on gold long. If we grab liquidity on the 15-minute, going below the lows, maybe enter 90.51. Okay, we'll take a look. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm bullish on gold as well, but I definitely want price to retrace a little bit further. But we will take a look. Let me go through some cross pairs first. So EURNZD, this one looks like it's breaking to the downside. I said yesterday I was looking for some buys if we can break above the level. Never got the breakout above the resistance, above 1.783. Market was struggling at the resistance for quite some time. And I said if you can clear the resistance, looking at a nice little break and retest and continuations back into the most recent high on the left, and then possibly even this high there as well. We got some nice targets to choose from. However, it looks like the market's had a very tough time breaking through that resistance and has rejected it quite heavily. So the sells are still an idea, it's still an option, but I need price to start taking out these lows first. If we can do that, then that confirms to me that, okay, the market is now printing a lower high and creating successive lower highs in relation to that high there. And we could be looking at a nice break of structure, a retest of it, and then a continuation to the downside on a retest and looking for some confirmation. So I do like the sells for USD. If we can start taking out some of these lows, then I'll be looking at pullbacks and continuations. If the market then redeems this support and uses that to break to the upside, then the buys are very much back on and looking for continuation back to the highs as well. So I am still overly bullish on the pair because of the higher time frames. If I zoom out, the higher time frame is still very, very bullish for EURNZD. But if you do start breaking through structure, I will be looking at some counter trend plays as well. So EURNZD for me at the moment, I'm quite neutral. I'm quite neutral because there's neither a good buy opportunity and there's neither a good sell. Market kind of is a little bit sideways as well. A bunch of some higher lows here, but also some lower highs. It's not, the direction on the 4H time frame is not very, very clear. So I need price to start breaking some structure repeatedly, start giving me some, obvious trend to work with, and then I'll be looking for my positions accordingly. So yeah, waiting for price either to break the high or break through some lows, and then we'll be looking at some buys above it or some sells below it. Anything in here is just too choppy for me. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook on EURNZD as well. Okay, we'll take a look at Pound NZD next. So Pound NZD, EURNZD, very similar currencies. I was actually looking at Pound NZD buys coming into this morning, but they completely invalidated the setup. I was looking at some buys coming back into some structure here. We had some nice higher lows here and also breaking retest of this level here as well. So I was looking for us to come back into this support, hold it, and then possibly look for another continuation back into the highs. Keep it very, very simple. Kind of a continuation of this bullish channel. So we had a big sell-off yesterday off the back of CPI coming into that level. So I was liking how price was looking at. So I said tomorrow morning, if Pound NZD can maintain this level, throw some nice wicks, I will be looking for some buys. But as you can see, we've kind of broken through the trend line, but we've definitely broken through that support level. So now that's going to be a level of resistance. It's not really attracting me to look for any buy positions anymore. So I'll be backing off from Pound NZD for a while, unless the market does break back above. So if the market does break back above, starts rejecting a support, then we might just be seeing a slight fake out to the downside, and then the market redeems that. So the buys are still on, but we need to get back above at least 2.06200, and then I'll consider price action above it if we're rejecting it healthily. Is that a word? Healthily? Healthily, that does make sense. Healthier. Yeah, I think it's healthier. If we actually, let me just not use that word. Better. So yeah, if we're rejecting the level better, then yeah, I'll consider some longs. But at the moment, not interested in pound NZD since it looks like we might be breaking below. So yeah, that's my outlook on Euro NZD and pound NZD as well. Dollar yen, we'll take a look. AJPY, I went to take a look at that one a while ago, so I will go and take a look as well. Dollar yen 2, we'll go take a look at some of the indexes, DXY, JPY 2. Morning Henry, welcome to the stream. Euro pound USD CAD, okay, we'll take a look. Yeah, USD CAD is actually on my watch list. Dollar CAD is on the watch list, so I'm keeping an eye closely on dollar CAD shorts. Waiting for a pullback first, but yeah, we'll discuss dollar CAD in detail. Cam, what is up? Do you trade exotics like MXN and ZAR? Sometimes, I sometimes trade USD MXN and USD ZAR. Not very frequently though, because the swap costs are quite aggressive when you're buying USD peso and USD ZAR. So I try to focus more on the sales for them. So when there's a good sell opportunity, I'll keep an eye out for it. But I try to ignore the buy opportunity, so I don't really trade it from that aspect. And if there's a good trade around and I can find it on a major or a minor pair, then I'll just ignore the exotics. So if there's nothing really looking good, you know, that can even develop in a couple of days on the major or the minor pairs, then I'll tend to drift and look and see what USD MXN and USD ZAR are doing. But at the same time, I'm only kind of really trying to focus on the sell positions as well. Do you trade peso and ZAR? Pound USD, Kyla, we'll take a look, no problem. CAD Yen as well. Fibonacci settings, yep. Fibonacci settings, I'm mainly looking at the 0.618 and the 0.5, but that's pretty much the settings there. 0.618, 10, 0.5, 0.786. And most of my trades are normally within this region here of the pullback. I'm looking for price to at least get 50% and slightly further, because you know, the deeper it is, the safer the trade is, in my opinion. So we'll go take a look at dollar yen, AJPY as well. What's going on? There we go. Dollar yen, AJPY as well. Okay, so AJPY pushing to the upside quite aggressively. This is another pair that looked good for some buys coming into yesterday. Same with NZJPY as well. We had a lovely level of resistance here. We also had a beautiful trend line connecting the higher lows as well. So I was looking to see what we can do in this area, possible higher low for again a continuation to the upside. And again, the market is not quite perfect, didn't quite reach that level of support which I was looking at, and is now looking pretty bullish. So unfortunately for ADJPY, no position there for me. Same thing with NZJPY as well. But yeah, we are coming back into some resistance. So that again, there might be some short-term sells. The market has been printing these lower highs, 1, 2, could be seeing a third one. So the sells do make sense. They do make sense coming back into 95. It's just the fact that the higher time frames are still pretty bullish. So it is it's a bit aggressive from that aspect. But you know, if you can see some good rejection there, some good entry characteristics, you might catch yourself a nice trade. Not really for me. But it's not a bad location for it. The same thing with NZJPY as well. You know, prices slightly breaking through the level, but at the same time, we could be seeing a lower high develop for a move back down. But I'm long-term bullish on these pairs because that's where the high time frames are heading as well. So I'd rather be looking at purely buy setups unless some really good bear structure develops, which kind of hasn't done yet. So AJPY sells are not bad. Sells are not bad coming back into 95, 175. But yeah, not my cup of tea at the moment. Not my cup of tea. Dollar yen as well. Yeah, dollar yen absolutely dumped to the downside. So this has been like a, 600 pip move from the high? Yeah, well, almost 700 pip. Yeah, practically 700 pips on the dot, really, to be fair. 700 pips to the downside. That is a cracking move for dollar yen. Cracking move. So yeah, what now for dollar yen? I think we probably can see a bounce at least. I'm not too sure what the bigger picture is for dollar yen because that is a very aggressive sell-off, giving us kind of the characteristics of a potentially a bigger lower high developing. but we're definitely coming into some major structure here at around 137,500, 137,500. So we're coming into some major structure here. Obviously, the market's still printing higher lows and higher highs as well. So there's a good possibility we come back into this area, a few rejections, maybe some consolidation, then eventually break to the upside and see a bigger move. That is still definitely a possibility. But of course, we need to see that price action start developing first. So I would say for dollar yen, keep an eye on this big level here. This is the daily chart, by the way. But obviously, if you're looking at the lower time frames, everything is still extremely bearish right now for dollar yen. So on the lower time frames, there may be a break and retest of some consolidation, some shorter term sell opportunities like so. That still looks like a good idea for dollar yen. I was expecting yesterday for us to get a break and retest of this level here. But again, the market was just far too bearish yesterday. We haven't got a successful break and retest in a long time. Again, we had support there, no break and retest. Had a support here, no break and retest. Support there, no break and retest. Support there, no break and retest yet. So, yeah, the market has been extremely bearish for dollar yen. The fact that we've had 4 levels and no break and retest yet, it just shows you how bearish the market has been. Normally, if the market breaks through a level and doesn't retest it, normally the next level after that will normally get retested because the market needs that correction. But in these conditions, the market is just breaking and continuing. So looking for a break and retest of this range here, 139,400, might catch a little bit more downside left. Last few pips from the sellers, and then we start seeing what price does at this big level at 137.5, where possibly we could see a big higher low develop. So that's kind of my outlook on dollar yen from a intra-week and high time frame perspective. Okay, so we'll take a look at completely forgot which pair I was going to take a look at. Okay, we'll take a look at DXY and we'll take a look at JPY basket, see what they're doing. I'll take a look at EUR/USD as well. I was meant to take a look at that one a while ago as well. ANS, we'll take a look at your setup on gold too. See what you're looking at. USD CAD, Euro Pound. I'll go through my watch list as well. USD CAD was on it. Pound USD 2. CAD Yen. What's up, Albanian for life? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Any markets you're looking at, feel free to let us know. Love Preet, what is up? US 100. Okay, we'll take a look. No problem. We'll go through USD Peso and USD as well quickly too. First, let me go and take a look at which pair did I say? Okay, we'll go through DXY and JPY as well. So yeah, DXY crashed the downside. What price we're trading at? Oh, 100 250-ish. So yeah, DXY has been incredibly bearish, obviously taking out these lows here. So yeah, yesterday was a bad day for dollar bulls here, a great day for dollar bears. And yeah, it's interesting because we've had this, let me go to the higher time frames monthly. So yeah, it looks like we could be cracking back underneath this level here, which could give us a lot more downside because, potentially this could be just one big up move, kind of fake the high of the range, and now it's coming back down. So from a technical aspect, it could mean a lot more downside. And if you look at the bigger picture as well, this goes all the way back to 1969. You can see DXY has been printing these major low highs, one over there, second over there, and potentially the market has just printed its third. So if this is giving us the same characteristics as this high and this high in the DXY, we could be expecting something crazy in the next kind of few months, if not years. This is kind of what the market has been doing. Could easily see something like that happen as well. So the trajectory from a higher time frame standpoint, again, this is the monthly time frame as well. So it's going to take a very long time for us to do something like this. But the history tends to repeat itself, and the fact is we are seeing similar characteristics of what has been repeated in history before. So the fact that we are coming back underneath this resistance here is not a good sign for the dollar at all. And if we maintain this, we could be looking at push back down into the low of the range around 90. At the moment, just from a daily perspective, everything is still pretty bearish. Again, still seeing successive lower highs. We've got one over there, second, equal high there, another one. So what I'd be looking at for DXY, some pullbacks and continuations. This would be a nice place to pull back into, as would this be this area here too. So looking at something like that and something like that as well. Trying to catch that next lower high either from this level or that level. So yeah, DXY not looking good at all. DXY not looking good at all. Long-term trajectory could see a lot of downside. From a daily standpoint, looking bearish as well, and obviously lower time frames are still looking very, very bearish too. I would say there's going to be a pullback soon enough because we've just taken out a big level, which would have a lot of liquidity underneath. So from a technical aspect, I would expect a pullback soon enough. But in terms of the direction for the DXY, yeah, it's very bearish. So if we do see an up move, most likely it's going to fail at some point and come back down again. So yeah, looking at shorts for DXY and basically longs for like Euro USD and Pound USD and dollar pairs, essentially, and shorts for like dollar Swiss, maybe dollar yen too, but JPY would be important, which we'll take a look at now. What was it? 225. So this one, extremely bullish, and yeah, I mean the market is this new. Yeah, the market's creating some new highs as well. So with yen right now, I'm expecting price to return back to the highs there and maintain that. So if the Japanese stock market maintains its up trajectory, then we should be seeing more weakness for the JPY pairs, which means we're still expecting pound yen, euro yen, New Zealand yen, Aussie yen. I'm not too sure about dollar yen. That's going to be a big battle between the two. You know, which one's weaker, dollar or yen. That'll be a battle to see. But obviously the overall trajectory of dollar yen is kind of up as well. But yeah, yen pairs as things stand look like they still got more upside to go. And so does JPY right now as well. So it looks like we've had another pullback. I'm treating this as a bit of a bull flag there. Correction 1, correction 2, and push back into 33,400, and then potentially some new highs after that as well. So yeah, that's kind of my verdict for DXY and yen. Let me know if you have something similar too. Okay, so I'll go through initial goal position, see what you're looking at there as well. And there's a bunch of other pairs people have requested, 2 CAD yen as well. Pound USD, USD CAD, we'll take a look too. Anyway, so looking at grabs some liquidity on 50-minute, going below the lows, maybe 1951. Okay, we'll go take a look at gold. Okay, so let's see. Let's move this out of the way so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so you're looking at 1951. Let me mark that on the chart. 1951, whereabouts are you? Down there. Okay, so you're looking for price to grab liquidity down there. Okay, looking for price to fake the lower on the 15, going below the lows and maybe enter down there. Okay, so possibly could see that happen. I mean, like I said earlier, the market is trading at some resistance right now. So retracement is likely. But yeah, I'm not too sure, because if the market starts breaking through these lows, it's going to take a big snap for us to redeem it. I mean, for me, the way I see it, to be fair, let me put it a bit more exact. 7.3. There we go. So yeah, if the market does break through these lows, then we might fake the lows and come back up again. But yeah, if we fake those lows, we might even see a bigger move to the downside. So that's the only worry about that position, because gold is a little bit overextended in the lower time frames. Again, there's a lot of bullish momentum present. So we could very easily fake the lows and then use that liquidity to head higher. But because we're coming to some resistance, if we do fake the lows there, I would suspect us to go low. But of course, you know, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just looking at probabilities and my trading style. But yeah, we possibly could fake lower and use that liquidity to head higher. At least if we do fake lower, you're further away from that resistance, so you're not buying directly into it. I suppose your targets probably will be back at the relative high, so maybe 162, 163, 150, something like that. That's probably your target, which does make a lot of sense. Not trying to look for anything too crazy back to the prior high, but we'll have to see. But yeah, in terms of direction, the lower time frames as well, you definitely want to be favoring buys. Looking for the next higher low and catching those swings to the upside. So yeah, I definitely agree with the bias, and it looks like a good setup. We just have to see how price develops essentially. But for me, I'll be sticking down here, obviously on the higher time frames, down at 1940-ish, 1939. Now I'll be looking for my entries there for some longs. Possibly back to the same resistance, might keep it simple. If things look good, maybe back into 1980, but I won't be too overly confident on the position. I know I said I expect price to go back to 2050, 2060, but again, that's more me just being analytical rather than my trading cap on analysis cap, trading cap, two different caps. But yeah, gold definitely bullish, looking for a bigger pullback. 1940, 1939 is my level of interest, and I do like the setup as well. Just need to see how price develops, but as long as you can catch that next high low, you're probably in for a decent trade. Okay, so we'll go take a look at pound USD and USD CAD as well. So dollar CAD, a pair on my watch list. I really do like the price action with dollar CAD. Price has run the highs here, fade to the upside, and again, you can see by the characteristics that the market gives you a big impulse in one direction, followed by an impulse in the opposite direction. Impulse. Normally that's a fake out. The market normally moves by impulse, correction, impulse. So impulse, correction, impulse, not impulse. If it does that, it means that we're not actually going in that direction. Most likely we're going to go in the opposite direction. Again, it's all probabilities. Sometimes the market will impulse up, impulse down, and then impulse up again even bigger. So that does happen as well. But normally speaking, 60% of the time, 70% of the time, we normally go in the opposite direction, which is kind of what's happened here with dollar CAD. So I'm looking at us taking out the lows down here at 1.312. So I'm looking at these lows getting taken out, the market going further. We've created some really healthy level of support here around 1.322, and also the resistance up here as well around 1.326. So these are my two levels of interest for dollar CAD. And quite frankly, I just want to see retracement into these areas, looking for a lower high and a dump to the downside. I'm not really bothered as to which level. I just want to see good rejection. So if things don't look good here, I'll wait to see if the price can break higher, then look for my shorts. But if things do look good here, I'll be happy enough to take my sells from there as well. So dollar CAD for me, I'm really liking the structure. We've broken through this low here to the downside, looking for a lower high and some sells. Again, we know that the high time frames are bearish as well. We've got lower high over here, lower high there with that double top, and again, possibly another lower high there too, on a break and retest of this support level there on the daily time frame. So USD CAD from a high time frame structure, bearish, 4H bearish as well. Now looking at a retest of some broken support and resistance, and then yeah, expecting price to go and take out these lows, and maybe we could be looking at push back into this support level here around 1.29500-ish as well. So there's definitely room to the downside to be had for dollar CAD as well. And if I'm correct with my bias on DXY and we're expecting more DXY weakness, then USD CAD should follow along as well. It doesn't again have to follow directly. It might go a little bit slower, it might take a bit more time, but in terms of the trajectory, sells is definitely the best bet, at least for me with dollar CAD. So looking at some short positions off those levels. Pound USD looking very, very bullish. It's tapped into the 1.3 level. So I'm not too sure what's next with pound USD, because again, the market has really flown to the upside now. So there's not much to do at these highs. Certainly for me, I need to see big pullbacks for me to get back in. And yeah, it's going to be a while before we get that. So pound USD, if I zoom out to the higher time frame to see what price is doing. So obviously price has redeemed this critical level of support. This was like a major support at 1.22. Market back above that now. Could be seeing a retest of this structure on the monthly perspective. This is the last bullish candle in the monthly time frame. As you can see, this is some nice support in the monthly before we broke through. Then next time we saw a bullish candle was this small bullish candle down here. So you could be seeing the market attracted to 1.32200. That's not a bad shout to have. Weekly perspective, obviously we already tapped some structure there, and the daily as well. So there could be a little bit more upside into 1.32. But again, I want to be seeing some big pullbacks for pound USD. And with these market conditions, we're not quite seeing that. So your best bet is probably dropping to the lower time frames, looking for some smaller pullbacks, maybe on like the 30 or the 15 minute, and looking to take buys accordingly. Breaking retest of structures, pullbacks onto prior highs. Even moving averages could work well in these conditions as well. But yeah, pound USD consistent high lows, as we can all see. Direction upside, we're seeing bullish momentum across all time frames. We've got a big monthly target there, which we potentially could get to. We've already hit some big targets already, 1.3. If I scroll across, this was a big level of support, which we broke through with great momentum, and the market's now just obliterated that area as well. So we're already in some places where you can probably expect to see some retracement for pound. But obviously, if you look at the current price action, we'll not really get much evidence of that. So yeah, lower time frames might be your best shout if you really want to get a trade with pound USD, looking for some pullbacks, higher low, and next continuation to the upside. But for me, I'll be waiting for deeper pullbacks. A retest of this structure would be nice. 1.285, but again, we're very, very far away from that. So I'm not too sure I'll be getting a pullback into that level very quickly. But yeah, definitely still bullish on pound USD. And we'll see if we can get some opportunities at a later date for it. Okay, so we'll go take a look at UK 100. We already looked at some US indices, so we'll take a look at UK 100 as well. We'll go over peso and USD ZAR quickly too, and CAD yen as well. Thoughts on Euro USD? We'll go take a look at Euro USD. For me, Euro USD is looking like a spitting image of the DXY inverse. So Euro USD looks like it's got more upside to it as well. Very, very bullish. But we'll take a look at Euro USD in a bit more detail. Okay, Roland, I entered my TP. Okay, what did you enter? Oh, long on pound USD. Okay, we'll take a look at pound USD since we're on it right now. Entered 1.3011. Where is that? 1.3011. Okay, that's 3011. That's more or less here. And TP 1.311. 1.311. Where am I going? There we go. Okay, yeah, not too bad. Again, the target's a bit more sensible with this one. Target's a little bit more sensible, it's not as far, to be fair. So I like it. Again, with the current market conditions, a push to 1.311 is not you're not asking for too much from the market there. With current market conditions, seeing monthly, weekly, daily, 4H, hourly, all displaying strong signs of bullish momentum, we can get to 1.311 potentially by the end of the day if things go well. So yeah, you're following momentum. Again, as a trend trader, as someone who likes to follow momentum as well, it looks like a good position. Again, it's more of a low time frame position, but you're doing exactly the things that I like to see. So yeah, looking good. Momentum is looking good. I suppose maybe a stop loss to break even by now, maybe just in case we have a deeper pullback. But yeah, hopefully we can go and hit that target. Like I said, we've got the monthly target up there. We could probably go and hit as well. So I do see more upside for pound USD. And if my analysis is correct of the DXY as well, we should be seeing pound USD continue to rise. Anyway, let me go take a look at UK 100. Last time I was looking at that one, I was looking very bearish. Okay, big pullback to the upside. So yeah, for this one, shorts still do look pretty good. We haven't taken out the lows there, but the market is reacting with some support. The market is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. So I still do favor shorts for this one. A break and retest of some structure, which we're coming into right now. Let's see how price is reacting. So we're coming to the level, not really seeing too much signs of the market rejecting. Obviously, the market is starting to slow down. We've got a nice wick to the upside in a small bearish candle. We want to see a bit more signs that the market is failing to break through. So some more wicks, some more bearish engulfings, really telling us that, okay, the market is losing out on this bullish momentum. We're starting to struggle at this area, starting to see rejection, inability to break through. And then the bearish engulfings confirm to us that momentum is fully shifted back to the bears. And then we can start looking for some entries there. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at for UK 100. In terms of the structure, it's looking pretty good. Hefty sell-off to the downside. Market still printing a bunch of lower highs. 1, 2, 3, 4 over there as well. So, essentially looking for the next one to print. And we've got a lovely support target there to aim for as well on the higher time frame. So yeah, still bearish for UK 100. Still bearish for UK 100. I know other indices are looking very, very bullish right now, but UK 100, although has seen some nice bullish momentum, the overall structure is still pretty bearish, which is the thing I'm trading here. So yeah, sells from 74.31, which is pretty much where we're trading right now. Keep an eye on price action there and see how it develops. But yeah, expecting another move to the downside for UK 100. You can see a very comfortable downtrend since April this year. Let's see if it can maintain that, unless it breaks structure, of course. Okay, so quickly take a look at Peso and ZAR. We'll take a look at CAD Yen as well. I have not forgotten about CAD Yen as well. Okay, so USD Peso. So yeah, pretty bearish for USD Peso. This one's been in a comfortable downtrend for a while now. Again, if I zoom out to just see where we are. Okay, so we're clearing out some important lows. Potentially could be coming back to this area here. I mean, it's not a bad shout, to be fair. So yeah, the market is looking very bearish, and in these conditions, you're looking at selling. Like if I go to the higher time frame, there's not really a critical point here. There's some minor levels of support resistance here on the left, but nothing like this level down here. So for me, USD Peso, we got a long way to go if we're going to hit that level, of course. And the current conditions are just still displaying a lot of bearish momentum with still a bunch of lower highs again. And if you look at the characteristics as well for USD Peso, we always have an exaggerated move to the upside first before a big sell-off. So as you can see, exaggerated move, market's very, very impulsive, then melts the downside, fairly impulsive, melts the downside, very, very impulsive, melts the downside, very impulsive, melts the downside, impulsive, melts the downside, impulsive, melts the downside, impulsive, melts the downside, impulsive, melts the downside. So the characteristics of USD Peso, because it's not as heavily traded as other markets like major pairs or the minor pairs, is less traded. So sometimes the moves are a little bit more exaggerated and the volume shifts a little bit quicker, which gives these big moves. And because they take liquidity and they give you some really nice lower highs to trade, break and retest structure. I'm not too sure if you quite got the break and retest. Yeah, probably missed it by a small amount there. But again, if you got the retest, this would have been a nice place to look to short and catch that next lower high. So effectively, you're kind of looking at price kind of moving to the downside choppily, big exaggerated move, retest some structure, which would be this level of support now, and then looking for the next wave to the downside. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking at for Peso and USD ZAR, similar. We were looking at this one yesterday. I said a breaking retest of this level looks like a good place to short from. Obviously, the market was far too bearish to get that retest and that retracement. But if you can see some big pullbacks soon, then I'm expecting price to continue that momentum. I would still not be too over optimistic with USD ZAR. Because again, the uptrend is still very much intact. The market's still printing all these higher lows. So I would still be a little bit hesitant of trying to be too aggressive with the shorts and with the TPs. Because all these higher lows are still intact and we could still print a higher low at any point. But the fact is that the market is starting to clear successive lows here and is also printing lower highs. So if you get a nice little pullback to the upside, retest some structure, next lower high, drops to the downside, targets back at the prior low, keep it simple. So that's what I'm looking at for USD ZAR and Peso. And again, with exotics, looking for shorts is it is definitely a plus because you can get some decent swap in your favor. You know, buys are always a little bit difficult. So yeah, I do like USD ZAR and USD Peso at the moment. Both looking quite bearish. Really nice impulsive leg to the downside. Okay, so CAD Yen we'll take a look at next. Okay, Pound Yen we'll take a look at as well. GR30, Thabu, no problem. What do you look for before taking a trade confirmation? I'm looking for wicks and momentum. So mainly bearish and bullish engulfing candles. That showed to me, okay, momentum has shifted from either bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish. And obviously wicks show an ability to break through a structure. So I'm looking at successive wicks. The bigger the better, the more the better as well. The more exaggerated the wicks are, the better too. But yeah, those are the two main things I'm looking at for entries and taking my positions. Euro USD win box, we'll take a look to Euro Pound, we'll take a look as well. I was meant to take a look at Euro Pound earlier on, so we'll definitely take a look. Vincent, what is up? Do you look at various currency indexes like you did for DXY? No, not really my personal trading. I can do if you want me to take a look. But my personal trading, I don't really look at other indexes. Sometimes I do look at the DXY and see what's cooking with the DXY because it's interesting to see what the dollar's doing, since that's kind of like the main, you know, world currency. You know, if you see what the dollar's doing, you can, you know, have a good kind of outlook in some other pairs, especially the major pairs as well. So I do keep tabs with the DXY, but that's about it. My personal trading, obviously, I look to the JPY as well. If someone requests it, I will take a look. But yeah, I don't really use it in my personal trading. You know, I look at the pair I'm trading. If I get a good setup on the pair I'm trading that fits all my criteria, good entry signal, things are looking good, I'll take the position, win, lose or draw. So in my personal trading, no, but I do keep tabs on the DXY. Pound USD trading around weekly supply and resistance. Yeah, it's coming into that 1.3 point. That's where my take profit was, but I can still see some more upside for Pound USD. Definitely if the DXY does what I think it will do as well. But we might see some downside for Pound USD, but I'm definitely not a bear. Just because it's coming into resistance and then supply does not warrant, does not give me enough reason to short Pound USD. I'm a trend trader. I trade momentum. If Pound USD is still bullish, still seeing higher highs and higher lows, still displaying a lot of bullish momentum, then I'm still looking for buys. Or at least I won't be looking to sell it. And that's kind of my verdict on Pound USD. But of course, if it looks good to you and it fits your plan, and yeah, feel free to sell. But under those conditions, there's no way I'll be looking to sell Pound USD. 100 on the live. Don't forget to hit the like button. Appreciate it, Anus. Yeah, guys, if you are looking at, if you are liking the stream, please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. If you're finding the content useful, you know, showing some love and hit the like button, you know, is I'll be very, very grateful for it. And make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss any streams or uploads in the future as well. But yeah, thank you to everyone who has liked the video so far. Hayden, what's up? Aussie Swiss. Okay, we'll add that to the list. So I'll take a look at Euro USD. So yeah, CAD Yen, Euro USD, GR30, Euro Pound, and Aussie Swiss. Thanks, not planning to enter right away if I get a confirmation. Okay, of course. Yeah, of course, if you get the confirmation, then obviously there's a trade for you. But obviously the no confirmation, market's probably going to head lower. Zark, thanks, Miko. I am done for the week. Have a great week. Bye. See you next time. Yeah, thank you so much for coming to the stream, Zark. Really do appreciate it. Nice to be done for the week on Thursday. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. But appreciate your attendance, and I hope to see you next time as well. Martin, what is up? USD, okay, we'll have a look see as well. Should I buy or sell? Buy or sell what? Rowan just wants to know if my TP2 will get hit. I'm long with CAD Chef. Okay, we'll take a look. And again, I can't tell you if your TP2 will get hit or not. You know, I'm not a crystal ball. It would be nice if I could tell you if it will get hit or not, and you could, you know, take that information on board. But I can analyze it for you, share my opinion. But if it will get hit or not, yeah, I wish I could tell you with 100% certainty. Yep, CAD Yen we'll take. I'm literally looking at CAD Yen next. Phronesis, Euro Yen Blessing we'll take a look as well. Yeah, Liam, I've just gone through JPY. So if you want to go back maybe like 5-10 minutes, you probably see the analysis to that. MKKM FTMO just announced on. No way. Did they actually? Unlimited trading days. Ooh, that is naughty. Because the whole reason why I didn't like FTMO is because of the time limit. So I didn't really consider looking at and researching FTMO. But if that's true, I'll definitely go and check them out, because I'm looking to take a challenge and post it on YouTube. And kind of do like a series with it. Maybe like a weekly update of my progress with a challenge. So I'm going to do a challenge with a prop firm, but my thing was make sure it's no time limit. Obviously make sure that the profit targets and the drawdowns are respectable as well. But yeah, I was always going to look for a prop firm with no time limit. But FTMO have always been, you know, one of the biggest ones, and definitely a prop firm that I am interested in. But because of the time limit, I was never considering to do a challenge with. But if that is true, I'll definitely go check them out. So yeah, I'll probably do that later today. That is interesting. That means like all major prop firms are now going to be no time limit, because FTMO, like, they're bread and butter. So if they're no time limit, then you have, if you're going to open a prop firm, you have to be no time limit as well, which is great. So yeah, I will go check that out. Okay, let me go through CAD Yen before I forget and drive people crazy. Where is CAD Yen? Can't even find it. Maybe I accidentally deleted it. Okay, so CAD Yen, what's cooking? Okay, big move to the downside of CAD Yen. Big move to the downside, similar to other yen pairs. I'm not really seeing too much on CAD Yen right now. We are coming to some support here on the left, which could be the cause of some friction around here, possibly maybe a higher low. Could be looking to warm up. On the 4H time frame, hourly, there's not a lot to go from. There's not a lot of price action to work with. Everything is still quite bearish right now. You know, we still got key structure here on the left. We could see the market go and tap into some consolidation and still see another down move for CAD Yen. So the way I see CAD Yen is I want more price action, more structure to print, more highs and lows to work with, and then I can start looking at some better opportunities. At the moment, everything is still pretty bearish, and if you're in the lower time frames intraday, you're still kind of looking for sell opportunities here. Break and retest 105, 500 looks good consolidation. A retest of that structure makes a lot of sense. And still looking for another dump to the downside. I will be a little bit careful because obviously the daily level I just mapped out, which we're currently trading in for CAD Yen. So looking for sells at this price here is a little bit scary, because at any point we could obviously see some bullish momentum kick back in. Therefore, I wouldn't try and be too aggressive with the TP. But yeah, the current market structure is very, very bearish at the moment. Still seeing a bunch of lower lows and lower highs. So if you're on the lower time frames intraday, sells are definitely your best bet until we at least break structure. Then we can start seeing what the market does and wait for some more price action to print, more price action to develop. Then maybe there could be some nice reversal trades and maybe some nice buys, or even some better sells in the future as well. But yeah, CAD Yen for me, it's in a nice level of support. Not really seeing much evidence that the market is reacting at support. Of course, we could easily break through still. Current price action in the lower time frames is still pretty bearish. So you're looking at retest and continuation, maintaining those lower highs. So yeah, that's the best I can see at the moment for CAD yen. But yeah, definitely still bearish on it. Okay, so Euro USD, I said I'll take a look at next. GR30 as well. Let me get those two out of the way, and then I'll start checking what pairs I'm meant to go through as well. New subscriber here, excellent content. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Runbox, really do appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, please be sure to consider subscribing, just like Runbox as well. If you're enjoying the content, I really do appreciate it. AJ for Y, okay, gold, we'll take a look as well. Harris, 50-minute gold, okay, thing. I will go take a look. And also, if people do want me to take a look on the low time frame, just let me know. I will take a look at the low time frame, because obviously when I do look at a chart, it's mainly like 4H, daily, hourly, which are the time frames I look to trade. But if you're on the lower time frames, you know, I will accommodate to you as well, just like Harris over there with gold 15-minute. Anish, check out my funded FX, great for firm, best customer service, no time limit. Yeah, that's one of the pairs I've been researching, and probably top of the list actually, for me to do a challenge with. So yeah, I definitely checked out my funded FX. They do look very good, and yeah, they do look very good. So I'm considering them a lot. But now FTMO's in the mix, I'm definitely going to check them out as well, because obviously FTMO, one of the longest prop firms out there, maybe the longest, I'm not too sure, but very trustworthy as well, because obviously they've been going on a long time. They've got a good track record, so definitely a prop firm that I would want to do business with. So I'll go and see what they're saying, and go through like all the trade parameters, because I need to, because obviously no time limit is good, but sometimes they do throw extra stuff in there sometimes. So I need to go and map that out fully. But yeah, with FTMO coming in, they're definitely on the watch list as well. Anyway, so Euro USD, haven't actually looked at Euro USD all stream, but prices are very bullish for Euro USD, breaking through some major highs on the daily time frame here. So yeah, what next for Euro? I'm not too sure what's next, because we're kind of trading past some big weekly highs right now. Market has climbed back above some key support a while ago, so really tested it a few times as well. If we go to the quarterly, yeah, I mean, Euro USD overly is still quite bearish. You know, we could still print a lower high at any point, really. You know, with these lower highs here, we could still come in and do something like that. But obviously that is a very long time away. That's the quarterly time frame. But at the moment, everything is still pretty bullish. I don't really have a kind of concrete target. I'm expecting Euro USD to get towards something like Pound USD. There's obvious targets for the monthly. Euro USD, there's kind of no real obvious target. You're kind of just looking at the highs here on the left and kind of working through them. You know, as price climbs higher, you got levels there to work with to the upside. So in terms of direction, Euro USD is definitely to the upside. You know, for a trend trader, this is kind of good market conditions, nice, great structure, great price action, and you're essentially just looking at pullbacks and continuations. So for me, for Euro, I'm still looking at buys, kind of only looking at buys. I'm not interested in sells at all. I know some people will probably be looking at some sells, and we just cleared some highs, so they're expecting a move back down, which does make sense. Thank you so much, Jules, Sandy, Joel, Sandy, for subscribing. Much appreciate that. So yeah, some people will be looking for sells, but I'm definitely not interested in looking for sells at all. Again, like I said, I like following trends. I like following momentum. If momentum is up, you know, I'm looking at up as well. So yeah, Euro USD, if we can see a pullback, I'm looking at 1.1. You know, that's a lovely level of resistance. Will be turn support. And again, we've got these high lows as well, adding to the confluence, and we've got the higher time frame backing too. So if you can see some pullbacks, yep, I will be looking for some long. The same thing, Pound USD. I'm kind of looking at the same thing for both of those pairs, looking at some bigger pullbacks, some bigger higher lows forming, and looking to buy to the upside as well. If I can see this on Pound, I'll be looking to take some trades too. So it just depends if Euro USD and Pound USD will give that to me. To be fair, I've got USD CAD on my radar as well, which is another pair I'm looking at pullbacks and some shorts. So still looking for the dollar weakness idea. But USD CAD doesn't need to pull back too much to give me a trade. So even if we don't see that much of a pullback on Euro and Pound, I might miss out on those trades, but maybe I can catch dollar cat. And again, I'm not trying to trade every dollar pair out there. If I can get into a dollar pair, that's great. If I get one trade to break even, then I'll look for another one. But we'll have to see. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Euro USD. We'll look at GR30 next. Okay, looking very, very bullish here. Okay, so this was my analysis last time, probably maybe 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago at least. So it looks like the market's had a big fake out the downside. The market's had a big fake out the downside. We did come back into support, brief move to the upside. Then we had a big move down, fake the low, and obviously the market is run back to the upside as well. So the market definitely faked out all of this support here. A lot of people will be looking to buy from here, and rightly so. But obviously that would mean a lot of stop losses underneath, and that definitely taken out a lot of stop losses. And now obviously the market is using that to help catalyze that move to the upside. Is that the right word? Catalyze? No. Help fund that move to the upside. I feel like I make up words half the time on the stream. Thank you so much, Logosu, for subscribing. Okay, so yeah, with GR30, I'm still very bullish on this one. You can see the major higher lows printing here, and I feel like we probably just printed another one there. So next destination, 16,300 we'll call it, which is a big resistance here. This was our prior major highs last time, which sent us to the downside. We failed to break through them last time, so I think we'll probably go and retest that, whether we break through or not. That will be up to GR30, but that looks like a good target to be had. So it's difficult because I'm not too sure where you could look for entries. There's no obvious level that jumps out to me for buys. There's no obvious level apart from obviously the level down here, which the market is very far from. Maybe in the low time frames there's some structure, some consolidation here you can retest. So that does make sense from a low time frame perspective. It's just in the middle of nowhere. That's the only thing I don't like about it. It's kind of in the middle of a range, not really coming back to a strong level of support and resistance. So not the biggest fan of the buying opportunities right now. The safest place to buy would be down here, and obviously the risk reward would be the best as well. So kind of 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing. But if you really want to get into GR30, you're probably looking at some lower time frames, break and retest, and that consolidation is probably the best you're going to get. But yeah, not the most optimistic about it because it's the middle of nowhere. But yeah, definitely bullish for GR30 at least. Okay, so we'll go and take a look at... I'll take a look at Euro Pound, USD as well. Oh, just hit the mic. A few people have been asking for USD, so I'll take a look. Aussie Swiss as well. We'll take a look, looking for some short on the 50-minute, just waiting for a good entry. We'll take a look at gold as well on the 50-minute too. Yeah, Euro Pound, we'll take a look now. Okay, so Euro Pound, and we'll take a look at Aussie Swiss after. So Euro Pound, yeah, I don't really like the price action with Euro Pound. This is kind of just consolidation to me. Price has got some strong resistance up here. It's got some strong support going through the market here as well. And it's kind of just fluctuating between these two levels of support and resistance. Had a nice fake out to the upside not too long ago. Then we had another one to the downside not too long ago as well. Kind of yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday. And now the market has broken back inside, now trading back inside that range. Thank you so much, Hem, for subscribing. Really do appreciate it. So yeah, the market's trading back inside that range. So with Euro Pound, I'm not really liking the price action. This is consolidation. Like I've been saying all stream, I'm looking for trending markets, trending conditions, higher highs, higher lows in an obvious direction with good momentum. This is just not what we're seeing right now at all. We're not seeing that at all. So Euro Pound, again, if I wasn't on the stream to a bunch of people right now, I would just look at the market, map out the consolidation, then move on to the next pair. I'll be waiting for the market either to clear the highs, break out with some good momentum, and then look for some retests and continuations, and the same thing to the downside as well. These are the opportunities where my strategy comes into play. This does not come into play. Again, if you have a strategy that's more range bound and functions well in these conditions, then of course this is the time where you shine. But this is definitely the time where I shine. So I look to hold back. But like my kind of thought process is with any consolidating market, the best thing you can do is look to buy low and sell high. So 0.852, buying as close to the lows as possible makes the most sense. And same with the highs around 0.863, looking to sell at that resistance and capitalize on a move back down again. Anything in here is just very choppy, difficult to find good quality trade setups because the market is more random. So yeah, Euro pound, that's the best I've got right now. We faked the downside, could be seeing a retest of some structure. And use that for some buys. Again, you can have a nice stop loss underneath, and same thing for the sells as well if we do come back into that resistance. But for me, I'll be waiting for the market to clear support, clear resistance, breakout, and then I'll be looking at the trend outside of that, and that's when I'll be looking to get into some positions if we get some good pullbacks. But yeah, in those conditions, it's a big no-no. Let me know what you're looking at for Euro pound, because a couple of people have been asking for Euro pound, so I'm interested to see what they're looking at. Okay, so we'll go take a look at Aussie Swiss on the 15, and then I'll take a look at gold as well on the 15. Okay, a few people asking for gold too, so I'll take a look at gold in multiple time frames. But first, we'll take a look at Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss, where are you? There you are. Okay, so you're looking at Aussie Swiss on the 15. That's brave. I don't know a lot of people who trade AUD CHF on the 15-minute time frame. But here we are. So AUD CHF coming back into some nice resistance. It's not too particularly clear. It's not too particularly clear. I mean, on the higher time frames, have we taken out the lows? No, we haven't. So I do still see some more downside left for AUD CHF. The fact that we've come so close to the lows here, there's a lot of liquidity underneath that. I'm expecting price to go and take that out and see some new lows. We know the higher time frames are still very bearish as well. So I do expect the market to eventually find resistance and start rolling over, but we could pull back from here and sell off, or we might pull back a little bit higher, then sell off. Yeah, that's up to the market. But if I go back to the 15-minute time frame, you do kind of have some intraday bullish momentum. If the market does break through this, then there actually is some nice buys above it. I'm not too sure. The sells do look good. I know I'm bearish on the higher time frame, but from a 15-minute aspect, looking to short this is quite aggressive in my opinion, because it's a nice level of resistance, but the fact is we're kind of consolidating, so it's not really a high probability short. In fact, if you can break the high of the resistance here, breakout, the retest looks good because we're actually printing some higher lows here, and that kind of trend, which is what trading now, which is this intraday momentum, you can take advantage of that and see a buy from that on the retest. So I do like the buys on the 15-minute time frame, even though eventually I do expect the market to find its resistance and come straight back down again. But again, you're trading on the 15, so what the price is doing on the full H and the daily is not really too important to you. Yes, it's nice to be in the overall direction of structure, but from a 15-minute perspective, you could be done with your trade in like four hours. So what the market's doing on the daily doesn't necessarily impact you too much. So yeah, you can probably get away with a nice breaking retest of the high there, take advantage of some short-term buys. The sells, like I said, it just looks a little bit too aggressive for me. It could work, but the probability is much higher with the buys if we get that break and retest. So keep an eye on that. But that's the best I can see on the 15. And the fact is, on the 15 as well, we failed to continue with the lows here. We had support. Market kind of faked the support with the CPI. So you might be seeing a bit of a reversal of this kind of double bottom here. So that kind of plays into the idea of the buys as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the buy side of things for Aussie Swiss. Okay. We'll go take a look at gold now on a bunch of time frames, since a few people is requesting gold. Vincent, FTMO now has no time limit. Yeah, someone just mentioned that earlier. So yeah, I will definitely go and check that out. I'll definitely go and check that out because I've been looking at a bunch of different prop firms. Um, and I wanted to look at FTMO, but obviously they've got a time limit, and I was just wanting to stick with the two prop firms without time limits. So now that they don't have one, that's a game changer. That's a big game changer. So we'll definitely go and check them out. Does anyone here trade with FTMO or has done in the past? What's your experience been like with them? Has it been good, bad? Let me know. Anyway, so let's go for gold. Okay, so gold, this is what I'm looking at in the full H. I will take a look in the 15 shortly, but this is what I'm looking at in the full H. I'm looking at buys for gold. The market has been quite bullish. We've broken to the upside past the big level of support. You know, a bunch of people will be looking to sell from this area. So originally support and then resistance. A bunch of people looking to sell, and then eventually they would have got taken out with that big move to the upside. So now looking at price coming back to retest that same structure and looking to continue the buys to the upside. As you can see, you kind of got this inverted head and shoulder, which a bunch of people pointed out yesterday. And now that we've kind of broken through that neckline, it's looking good for some buys above that structure, around 1940, 1939, that area there as well. So I'm basically looking at one more down move for gold and looking at a big push to the upside. Like I've been saying on the higher time frames as well, we've got this big bullish structure, which the market has been creating higher highs and higher lows for a while now. So I'm looking at another higher low printing for another big push to the upside. So in my book, there's a lot of room to the upside for gold. A lot of room to the upside for gold. You just need to see the necessary pullbacks, the necessary confirmations, and then we can jump in and get on the back of that. So yeah, gold buys what I'm looking at on the 4H/hourly time frame. That's probably where I look for my entries. If I delete that 15-minute chart, 15-minute, did you say what you're looking at specifically, or do you want my opinion? Well, on the 15-minute chart, we are coming into some 4H resistance here on the left. So naturally, you know, buys, the market is bullish, but you don't want to be buying into some key resistance here. And more or less on the 15 anyway, it's practically consolidation. It's practically consolidation. So I wouldn't really try to do too much in this area anyway. I would just consider that as consolidation and try and stay away. Waiting for the market to do something like what Angus is looking to do, waiting for it to fake out the lows and then try and catch the pullback after that. Because then we've got a fake out, potentially a higher low formation, and then you can see the market use that to continue higher. But anything in this area right now is kind of dead to me. The market is moving sideways. We had that Asian session, the market coming into London, kind of just moved up, down, up again, and now it's kind of running out of momentum. Do we have news later today? Because I feel like maybe price is warming up for some news again. Just the way the market is moving. 1 second. Economic calendar. My FX book is working again. Good to see. Okay, so we do have. Okay, so we've got jobless claims 130, PPI 130 for dollar. So yeah, we do have some dollar news coming out. Maybe that's going to cause some friction. Again, that's another reason probably to stay out of the market as well, especially when we're seeing gold consolidating. You know, consolidation pre-news, that's just a big no-no, because that's kind of like 50-50. And you can even be in the right direction and still get wicked out as well, which is just not pleasant at all. So my biggest advice for gold would be maybe wait till after the news today and then see what's happening, especially if you want to be on the 50-minute chart as well, because this price action is rubbish. And the fact that we're coming to resistance, the market's moving sideways, there's no kind of clear-cut opportunity here for gold. So we've got news in about 1 hour and 30 minutes, about 90 minutes time. So you don't have to wait too long, see what happens with the news, and maybe there's some good opportunities after. But right now, that's just way too choppy price action in my opinion. But I know what I'll be waiting for, which is the retest of the structure. So hopefully you can see some bearish momentum for gold. I'm asking a lot, but yeah, it's worth a shot. Okay, so we'll go take a look at Yeah, I already did take a look at Euro USD. If you go back literally to the prior pair, I was looking at Euro USD for some buys on the retest of that structure there at 1.1. I know I've missed out a bunch of pairs that I was meant to look at for people. So yeah, if I have missed out any pairs that you guys have said, just feel free to drop it down in the comment section again, because sometimes I just get lost if there's a lot of chats, and I lose track. Okay, Euro Yen was a pair that I was meant to look at, so I'll take a look at Euro Yen. But if I've missed out any other pairs, just let me know in the chat, because it definitely does get lost. Anyway, so okay, Brandon, FTMO solid, they pay out. Been with them for a while. Okay, nice. I will take a look at FTMO. I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things from FTMO, to be fair. So they do sound solid. But obviously, nice to get, you know, some personal experience from someone who's actually been with them. Also, check market milk at Baby Pips? To get a read on what's strong versus weak in the currency markets. I assume you're talking about Baby Pips there. Yeah, we do have dollar news in a bit, PMI, well, PPI, but yeah, in a second, we do have in about 90 minutes time. So anyone trading dollar on the lower time frames, be careful, because you guys will be at the most vulnerable to it. Of course, every trader will be, but on the lower time frames, you got lower stop losses. You know, each pip makes a big difference. You know, if your stop loss is 50 pips wide, then, you know, a couple pips not going to make too much difference. But if your stop loss is 5 pips, then every pip is huge. So the lower time frame you're trading, the more you have to pay attention to it. Okay, so yeah, I will take a look at Euro Yen. No problem, Mary. Happy to help. Pound CAD analysis. Okay, we'll take a look. Pound CAD was on my watch list at the start of the week. Never got into a position of it, but since then it has created some new highs. So I'm not really too interested in getting involved, but we'll take a look at Pound CAD. Kian just bought 100k funding challenge after completing a small 5k account challenge. Any advice you'd give me? Okay, so which is it time limit? Is it time limit based? The 100k you've just bought? Is it time limit based, or is there no time limit? And what's the drawdown restrictions as well? Because then I can give you better advice. And also feel free for other people who's done challenges as well to chip in for advice as well, because I've never actually done a challenge yet. So some other people in the stream may have done a few, so they probably have some good words of advice as well. Okay, so we'll take a look at Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, where are you? Okay, so price for Euro Yen, we discussed early in the stream, looking at some selling opportunities. The market is still giving us this nice bearish trend here. It's quite corrective, and again, it's still giving us the vibe that this bearish trend is probably just going to be short term, and eventually the market is going to snap bullish again. And if I snap to the weekly time frame real quick, you can see the market is still very bullish. Let me move that out of the way. Still very bullish here. So even your slight bearish candles on the weekly, yes, might give us some nice opportunities on the short term side of things, but let's not forget where the actual direction of the market is, which is still very to the upside. So like I said at the start of the stream, sales do look good around 155,500, but again, wouldn't be too optimistic with the TPs and targets. You know, back down to the prior low is more than enough. You probably get yourself a decent risk reward depending on your entry there as well. So Euro Yen for me, keep an eye on 155,500 or 155,400 ish. And then yeah, sells the downside, probably get yourself a nice 1 to 3, 1 to 4, depending on your entry. So risk reward looks pretty good, and we're seeing successive lower lows and lower highs, so structure looks good as well. But yeah, momentum is still pretty bullish with Euro Yen, so I wouldn't look for anything too crazy. But yeah, I am bearish on it. Okay, so Okay, they have a market for reading the market. Yeah, I mean, again, baby pips is great to check out. Definitely if you have no prior information of the markets, you're just getting involved, then using baby pips is a great way to get a head start into the market. Lendl, I'm hoping, I read that completely wrong. I'm long gold. Don't say you are hoping for bearish price action. I mean, I'm looking to long gold as well. It's coming to some resistance. So the reason I'm hoping for bearish price action is because I want to see retracement so I can buy at a lower price. Again, the pullback I'm looking for is a little bit much. I'm not too sure if I'll actually get it, to be fair, quite frankly. Back to 1940, it's a bit much of an ask. I'm not too sure gold will do it. But yeah, I mean, gold sometimes, when it gets going, it gets going. So sometimes there's just no pullback and prices keeps flying. So the buys are a good shout. You know, I'm definitely bullish on the pair, expecting more upside. I'm just hoping for a pullback. You know, I'm just hoping for a pullback. But we'll have to see. I mean, the worst thing that happens, or potentially worst thing that happens, is the market stops you out, pulls back deeper. You find another entry to get in, and then you make back what you lost, plus some more if your risk rewards, decent. So yeah, it's not the end of the world if it does go against you, because the trajectory of gold is looking pretty bullish. So if it does come back a little bit deeper, I still find another higher low and get some buys there. With my Forex funds, okay, I think that's time limit based, isn't it? 5,000 daily, 12,000 max. Okay, it's decent, to be fair. The drawdown's a lot of room. And 5,000 daily drawdown. So yeah, my advice would be because I'm pretty sure it's time limit based. So I'm pretty sure they would have like as long as you're in profit by the end of the month, I think you get a second trial, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the case, then my biggest advice to you would be just maintain the account. Obviously, a lot of people I feel like would fail because they focus a lot on the profit targets and they neglect the risk side of things. So they try and go all out for the profits, and then they end up in deep drawdown and difficult to get out of it. But at the same time, you don't want to be too risk adverse as well, because if you have, for example, like you said, you're risking 0.5% each trade. You're risking 0.5% each trade. That means if the profit target is at 8%, I think it's 8%. If the profit target is 8%, that means you need to get 16R to pass, essentially, because 0.5 times 16, 0.5 times 16 will equal 8%. So you have to do 16R in a month, which is pretty difficult. I mean, it's doable, but it's difficult. And the chances are you'll probably be looking at a reset or maybe an extension. I'm not too sure what the rules and the allowances are with my Forex funds, but I assume maybe the extension or a retry. So my advice would be, because your overall goal is just to stay in profit by the end of the month, so you can have a retry. I mean, not your overall goal, but that's the lowest you want. That's the lowest outcome you want. You don't want to fail, of course. So I would suggest maybe keep a 1% risk per trade at the start. And because you've got a lot of drawdown room, I would say give yourself 5% where you risk 1%. And then if you're past 5% in drawdown, then you can reduce it to 0.5 to protect the capital. But, try and use the first 5% of drawdown with a bit of wiggle room, and use that potentially to get into some nice profit, where then you can look to maybe up your risk a little bit further to hit the 8%, or just maintain it if you're going to feel like you're going to pass anyway. But I feel like if you use 0.5% risk per position, it makes the goal of 8% very, very difficult in trying to get 16R in a month, which is difficult to do. So I would say maybe keep 1% risk and give yourself a nice 5% buffer. If you breach that 5%, then you can lower your risk to 0.5% and maintain the account. But again, that's just my advice, because 16R is a lot to ask for. Or you can start out with 0.5% risk, maybe get like a little buffer of 1 or 2%, and then up your risk later. So you can do it kind of reverse. So, but I definitely wouldn't keep 0.5% the whole duration of the challenge, because like I said, 16 hours is very, very difficult. So maybe 0.5%, you're up, what, 2%, 3%, and then you can make it back to 1. So hopefully that made sense. But again, your overall goal is just to make sure that you can come back into the next month with some profit. So you either get the extension or a retry. You just don't want to fail the challenge, of course. We're coming to the end of the stream. I did not even see the time. Anyway, guys, I will be live again later today with Trader Nick on his channel. So I will leave a link to his channel in my Telegram. So if you're not in the Telegram, feel free to go and check it out. Link in the description to it. But I will be live again later today, discuss some more analysis. And if I'm in any trades, I'll let you guys know. Probably won't be in any trades in the next hour and a half. But if I am, I will let you know. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream today. It's gone pretty quick. I didn't realize that we've already come up to 12. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. If you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe as well. I really do appreciate it. It helps out the channel as well. Make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss any streams or uploads in the future. Yeah, Kian, that'll be interesting. I'll keep me updated. I'll also do a challenge on my YouTube channel as well, so you can also see how I do too. Anis, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it, moderating the stream. And yeah, take care of yourself as well. I'll see you next week. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. Really do appreciate it. Have a great end of the weekend. Stay aware of the news. Be careful. But yeah, stay safe and have a good one.